My name is Anne Clifford, and I'm going to be talking today about the sewing machine. And as you can see today now, we have the Vulcan sewing machine. This particular machine was used 100 years ago, and basically it's a child's sewing machine. And the handy thing about it is it's easily carried around. You could get the larger ones for the adults, and basically they would use it, we'd say, to sew their various garments. So by garments, I mean it's clothes, in other words. You can visualize 100 years ago, and no electricity, so the lady of the house would maybe want to introduce her children into sewing. It took quite some time because you had the wheel and you'd have to maneuver right round and get up the stitch. But that was the joy about it all, because after school, the lessons in the evening, and then you spend time, we'll say, doing some sewing. Why was sewing introduced long ago? Well, people basically weren't going out as they do today to purchase garments. They actually made their own garments at home. And that's how the sewing machine came about, we'll say, to be able to make their own garments. There was very little fabric, so they would cut up old garments that were well worn and maybe make something out of those. Surprising what you could do, we'll say, with an adult's shirt or the lady's dress, and you could make something, we'll say, for the smaller children. So that was quite interesting. It's not electric, so the way it was operated was just by the actual wheel. So it was maneuvered right around, and then it would make stitches. It would be just a chain stitch. If we want to observe what a chain stitch is like, it's worth going shopping with mum or dad and purchasing a bag of potatoes. And you know, when you want to remove the string or the sewing on the top of the bag of potatoes, it's easily removed. We just snip one end of the thread, and then it just pulls away just like that. Whereas the more modern stitch today is that we have a bobbin underneath, and basically both threads come together and they form a running stitch. So, and the running stitch is a long stitch as such. That's quite more secure. We'd have the foot pedal. Long ago, we'd have the old sewing machines. In my grandparents' time, the machine was erected on the top, and there was the wooden table. So, and it was all built in. The machine itself was built in to the wooden area, and you'd work away and sew away, and you'd work with the pedals. That was long ago. Then they advanced more and more into the electric machines. Then we have, as I said, we advance more into the modern machines, and they are doing embroidery and various other fancy designs. And then you can position different threads and different color threads, and then instead of having just the one needle, you'd have various other needles that would be bringing in all the threads into the particular garment. That was going back now. They didn't have electricity. But then today we've advanced naturally, and we have electricity. So we have the plug-in sewing machine. I was introduced to sewing by my mother, and thoroughly enjoyed it because mother had the expertise and the experience, and that was passed on to myself and my sisters, so that we were able to basically go out and make our own garments. Even my own wedding dress, made my own wedding dress and the bridesmaids. And I advanced on to making curtains and you name it. And what a pleasure it is to be able to say to your friends, I made this particular garment. They might come along and say, oh, I love your dress, or I love your trousers, or I love your trouser suit, or I love your blouse. And it is a joy to be able to say, yes, I'm delighted to say I did make it. I remember making a little teddy, and it was from a furry cushion. So a large furry cushion, and my mother decided that she'd rip up the cushion and we'd make it into a teddy. Of course, I was dying to see the end result, as we would as children. You're always dying to see what's going to like when it's completed. So what I did during the night, I was saying, where am I going to get this filling for Teddy? So here I goes. I noticed now I'm sleeping on the pillow. I decided I'd rip the seam up and I'd fill it with the filling that was in the pillow. So mother came in the next morning and she says, oh, the teddy looks fabulous, but where did you get the filling? And of course I said, I got it from the pillow. And of course mother wasn't too pleased, but she laughed about it, brought it to school, showed teacher and my little school friends, and they were all delighted and excited. And that's really all that it is with regards to the sewing. It started off generations ago, and in simple terms, no electricity, having to basically use the wheel or the foot pedal, and then advanced on today with the more modern machines.